I am sitting down with two incredible boss babes who are also great friends of mine, the fiery powerhouse Brittany Michalchuk and the incredible world traveler Kait Rich. Brittany is an expert at social media strategy, building powerful brands online, and creating epic masterminds and lucrative collaborations. Kait travels the world speaking and leading events and has coached over 1,500 CEOs, business owners, and professionals. In this episode, we talk about why women need to stop comparing and competing and start collaborating. We talk about how to build an amazing tribe and build powerful friendships that are actually in alignment with you and your values, and just a ton of other juicy, good stuff I don't even want to spoil. So I'm really excited for you to listen to this episode. Without further ado, let's get this party started. Ladies, I am so excited for today because we're going to have some three girls on one couch.
You can't even say it.
Three girls, one couch. It's happening. No, but seriously, we're going to talk about, and this is going to be a super awesome episode because not many women feel that they can talk about this, but we all think about it. And that is... Yeah.
It is, why do women feel the need always to compete? Why can't we actually just collaborate, support each other, and be a stand for each other's success? Why are we always having the cat fight stereotypes? So in today's episode, we're going to deep dive into why that's happening, and then also how to not recorrect it, but how to attract powerful, successful women in your life to build the type of relationships where you can flourish in business and friendships. So stay tuned, you guys. It's going to be an amazing episode.
We all want tribe at the end of the day. We all want tribe. Everyone wants, we're bred and born for connection. All of us want it. Sometimes I feel like for successful women, and I'm going to speak up for myself here, is sometimes I would feel like it's harder the more successful you become to have those authentic, really connected, intimate relationships with other women who are also successful. Because there's that thing that comes up where it's like that better than, less than, the comparison game.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, and that's exactly it. It's because when you are successful, you are operating differently. When you don't have results, I mean, it's hard to intimidate people. But when you do have that level of success, it's like you almost have to do you guys ever feel like you have to downplay it or like dumb yourself down so that people don't get intimidated, so you don't offend people, so you don't ruffle any feathers? Whereas why aren't more women giving each other the platform to be like, go shine? You know, we all talk about this, but when you guys share your wins with me, like you're like, I made close to 20K last week, and you're like, I made 80K last week or 80K last month. It's like, we're excited about each other, and we're like, yeah, how did you do it? Like, we're sharing, we're collaborating, and we genuinely get excited to see each other win. Why is that?
And there's a big point to what you just said. We feel excited to share it with each other. Yeah. That's a big key, because what you said before is there's some groups of people and some friends that you may have where you feel like you've got to dull your shine, dim your sparkle. That's a key indicator that ain't your tribe.
Yeah.
Well, and what I was going to say, the reason that we are all able to really support one another and be like, fuck yeah, your travel schedule, you're going here and you're going there and you're talking to these people and you're doing this, is because we all have enough confidence in what we are doing that we are not intimidated. And this is, it's not to say we're not intimidated and we never compare ourselves. I don't think that's fair to say. I think that would make us like perfect people. I think everybody always has places they can improve their confidence and, you know, not feel intimidated by those who are above you. But really it comes down to the fact that we've all done our own work on our self-confidence. We've all created success and results for ourselves so that we can stand together and actually share these incredible wins instead of having to dull ourselves and play down.
And I think another important component, because I really want the listeners to be able to listen to this podcast, listen to this and be like, how do I apply this into my own life? And one of the things that's so important is we made an effort to be here. You live in the US, you live a province over, I live here. And instead of us going our way and we're all like boss babes, we're all like workaholics, we have so much going on, we actually all made the effort to be like, let's get here in one place, no matter the obstacle. And I think that's really important when you want to build friendships with women. It's how much effort are you putting in to creating those relationships? I think so many people go on social media and they'll watch like the behind the scenes and the stories, and they're like, that looks so much fun. But what are you doing to create those results in your life? Are you reaching out to people?
And is what you're believing supporting you in what you want to create? Because at the end of the day, if I'm sitting here telling myself over and over that there's no way I can have a friend like that, there's no way I can have a friend, they're all going to be, they're all going to be trying to compete with me, they're all going to, if we're having those beliefs, it doesn't matter if the perfect friend is standing right in front of you, you will not see her. You just won't see her. And you also won't even put yourself out there because you'll be afraid of getting hurt, afraid of having the relationship that you don't want, because that's what you're focusing on.
Yeah. Well, and to add to that, I think a lot of the time people don't realize just because you're successful doesn't mean you don't have your own shit. Right? Like each of us, we are women who are able to be vulnerable with one another, and we're able to celebrate the incredible wins that we have, because we're also able to sit down and say what the shit is that's happening in our lives, and own it, and recognize that just because we have places where we aren't perfect or we have problems in our own lives doesn't mean that we're not an absolute badass. So those of you who are watching this, just because you're not perfect, just because you have some issues in your life, it doesn't make you less powerful than any of us, 3 girls on one couch, or, anybody anywhere who's succeeding. So I think part of being able to have powerful friends is being able to recognize that every single person on the planet, whether they're Oprah Winfrey or Jeff Bezos, like they all have their own shit. And when you get comfy with that, then you get to all have your own shit and all have your own wins together. And
it takes courage. It takes courage to own. So that whole story you're having of I need to be perfect, I need to look perfect, that's actually that's making you less connectable, if that makes sense.
Yes.
Like, it makes you less, you're not going to be getting what you want, because people are inspired by other people who are willing to own the darkness, who are willing to step out and be like, okay, this is what I'm going through and this is real stuff.
I love that so much, because I'm going to be very authentic. Like, you girls are very successful, gorgeous, have it all together, killing it. And like, I think that for me personally, sometimes when I'm like, okay, this is what I'm going through, this was a struggle or this was a challenge in my life or my business, sometimes it's a little bit challenging. And what I have to say is, you really got to let down those guards and be authentic, because people don't relate to perfect. Mm-hmm. They relate to real. And I think one of the things that works well in all of our friendship is, and a little backstory, all 3 of us are friends, it's like a little tripod, is that we are willing to take down those guards and those masks and be like, look, this is where I'm struggling. Can I ask for support, instead of always having to be perfect?
And the asking for support one is big. Because as I will say, I'm going to speak for myself here, because I don't know how, I feel like you guys are the same way this way. It's like we get in we're lone wolves, we want to we're doing everything our own. And it's for us to ask for support. It's actually inspiring the other person that we're asking to, because it's like that right there is creating connection. When we're willing to ask for support and realize that we're so much more powerful when we do, like this is so much more powerful.
Right?
Like we wouldn't be able to create this, what we're creating right here, on our own. We just wouldn't be able to do that.
And I love that, because even in the kitchen this morning when I was like, guys, this is what's going on in my business, I want your opinion. Instead of being like, okay, everything's perfect, which everything is going amazing, but there's always room for improvement. And I love how we can ask each other, like, look, like, what would you do in this situation? How did you do this? Like, I loved in the car, you're like, yeah, I made $80,000 last month. And Ash was like, what was the process? You know what I mean? And so it's not just having the courage, it's not just being authentic, but it's also being like, how can we not just be inward focused? I think we all balance it really nicely, where we're like, how can we help you? Like, what do you need help with? This is what I need help with. It's not a one-sided relationship in any of our businesses or lives.
Yeah. Well, and I was going to add to that, like, we all are always looking for the place that we can help each other and add value. And if you're wanting to attract people that vibrate at your level, you have to be vibrating in that place first, right? Like, you have to be creating that. You have to be showing up with complete responsibility for creating your life. You have to show up with impeccable integrity around who you are for your friends, who you are for your clients. And also being service and value-based. Like, we all provide massive value. But I might know, like, if you're sitting there thinking, well, what value would I have? Know that somebody who is, I would say, like outside your sphere of influence or is doing totally different things in their life and business would be really benefit from something you might have to share that might be nothing to you, right? It might be like a throwaway comment, and it might inspire that person, even if they make 5 times more money than you, or they travel the world or whatever. That one thing that you say, that one little nugget might be the thing, right?
Nobody else has your perspective. Nobody thinks the way you do, period. End of story. And that's actually a thought. I get that a lot from like women coming to me saying, oh, I don't know, like, what is my unique gift? And the thing I always and I actually learned this from, shout out to Yaya Bakar. He actually said this and I was like, oh my God, it's so good. But starting with knowing that you are valuable because you exist. Period.
Wow, that's powerful.
Period. End of story. And just knowing that in and of itself, it's like the more you own who you are fully and completely, then you can start really realizing what your unique gifts are.
Yeah, otherwise, I love that. I love that so much. And what you guys touched on was so true and authentic, and I really liked it. And you guys said that you need to become the best version of yourself to attract those type of people. And I love that you talked about a personal accountability, because so many people, they want these like uber successful, like powerhouse friends, but where are you in your life? And I mean that in the most gentle and kind way possible, but it's like, are you doing the inner work? Like if I was literally sitting there on my mom's couch, like eating Twinkies and like feeling sorry for myself and being a victim, do I think that these amazing ladies would want to hang out with me? Probably not, because the energy that I'm giving out. And so one of the things that I did when I really wanted to start building a tribe of powerhouse boss babe females was I was like, who do I have to become in order to attract those type of people in business and in relationships? Like even with romantic relationships with men, I'm like, who do I need to become to attract the type of man that I want? And I love that you guys touched on that personal accountability component. So it's just a gentle reminder to go back to the drawing map and be like, what type of girls, what kind of relationships, what type of business clients do I want in my life? And who do I have to be? How do I have to show up to be able to attract that?
I would even challenge the listeners right now. Like this could be your takeaway assignment from this episode is go write down exactly what Brittany said, exactly what you want. Like in your ideal female friendship or male relationship, whichever one, what do you want? Get super crystal clear and then ask yourself, am I all those things? Am I being all those things?
Yeah, like how can you be the person you want to be friends with? How can you be the person that you want to date? And practice showing up. And you're going to find that you're going to enjoy your own life and spending time with yourself a lot more when you're being that person too, right? Which is what it's all about in the end. Can we like take this down a little bit of a different path now and see as we just brought men into the conversation. So
oh no. Oh my gosh.
So let's talk about this. What is with the women who don't have female friends and say that it's easier to be friends with men and they're more comfortable with that? Can we talk about, have any of you been in that situation before?
I see that person.
Yeah, cool. What do you think that's about?
So I think it's about intimidation. So when I was that person, because I was that person, I had a lot of male friendships. It was because I was intimidated and felt threatened by other women, especially women who were pretty, who were great. Like this was a lot in college, like so who were great in school, like the high achievers. Like that for me was very intimidating, and it was so much easier, and I felt so much more easily accepted by men. It felt much more vulnerable for me to put myself out there to a woman than to a man.
Oh my gosh, I love that. And that's a good question, Kate. I think for me personally, I can only speak for myself. Before, I didn't have the level of confidence I do now. So I could never be friends with super successful women, because just being in their presence would make me go inward and be like, oh, I'm not pretty like her. I'm not successful like her. But after doing the inner work, after doing the personal development, after listening to your podcast and reading your magnetic confidence book, after going to your retreats, doing that inner work, doing that personal development for years, I've been doing this for almost a decade. I've been able to ground myself in who I am. And no matter who's in your life, you can stand powerfully in what you have to offer the world. And the way that I did it is I just kept reprogramming my mind when I went into places of insecurity, which I would love to talk about confidence next as well, because I think this is a key component, is retraining your mind. Instead of looking in the mirror and being like, oh, I look like shit. Oh, I have a couple pounds. Oh, my nose doesn't look like that. I don't have hips like Kim Kardashian. Speaking to ourselves more gently to be able to build that confidence so we can show up powerfully in business. We can show up powerfully in relationships, and we can show up powerfully in friendships to be able to create, like, what were we doing on the car ride here? Like, I got goosebumps like 10 times because we got so excited. We're like, let's plan this and this and that. We're so excited.
We're planning and our Bali retreat. Doing all the things.
It was collaboration because we're so like grounded in who we are. And so how do people in their life create that? What do you guys think?
Well, I always think that the relationships outside of you, whether it's your friends or it is your romantic relationships, are the most powerful mirror for who you're being. And that's the thing. If you notice that you're around somebody and that person makes you uncomfortable, instead of taking yourself out of that situation, put yourself deeper in it and ask, like, what is it? Like, this is the first thing. Like,
what's it about me?
What is it about me that has me so triggered by this person in front of me? Is it that they're really beautiful and they have the amazing teeth and you don't feel that you do? Is it that they're really skinny or they have like an Ashley level of tight butt? Is it like,
have you guys seen her butt?
Yeah, her butt
you
is
guys gotta head to her IG real quick. If you guys are watching this,
we're going to.
I want you guys to head to IG right now and add us. Ashley's Instagram, what's your IG?
Ashley.Hann.
The Rich Coach.
And then mine is Brittany Michalchuk at BrittanyMichalchuk. So make sure you guys head over to Instagram and add us. Yes, we can.
But like, I think that the very first thing is noticing where you're feeling super uncomfortable, and then just starting to ask yourself, like, the question I often say to my clients is like, what if this story that I'm telling myself wasn't true? Mm-hmm. Like, what if it was something else? Like, literally just introducing,
trying on perspectives.
That is, I love that you just said that. So we're meaning making machines. We're walking around making up stories about everything, about every person. And so the ones that we tell ourselves that don't feel good, like they're icky feeling, know that you wrote that story. So you can freaking rewrite that story into something that feels better, because you can always ask yourself the question, do I 100% know that this is true? Do I 100% know it's true? Pretty much 9 times out of 10, the answer is no. Okay, great. So why not write another story that you don't 100% know is true, but feels 10 times better than that one? You know?
I love that. And what it really boils down to, and this has been something I've been experimenting with lately, is trying on perspectives like we try on clothes. So one of the things that I've been doing, and it's been so interesting. So my dad took me to a football game a couple weeks ago, and I literally was like, in this moment, what am I thinking and what am I feeling? And then what would I be thinking and feeling if I was that person? Or this, and it was so interesting to me, and I've been doing this so much lately, is I stop myself in a thought process and being like, wait, this is actually figments of our imagination. Like, none of this shit is real. Like, this couch is real. we have a couple couch jokes. This couch is real, but it's like everything else is just completely made up. So when we have those icky feelings, when we go to those places of fears and insecurities, none of that shit is real, you guys. It's all stories that we've told ourselves. And I love that you said that we can easily rewrite our story.
I always call this the fact or the interpretation. So if something is an actual fact, it's like every single person on the planet, from Elon Musk to the guy who lives in the cardboard box outside whatever, store it is, are they all going to agree that this is a fact?
Yeah. Oh, I like that.
If they aren't, then you know it's an interpretation, and that means it's a story. And that's when you get to actually go, that's interesting. This is the pair of glasses I am, like exactly what Britt's talking about. Like, this is the pair of glasses that I am seeing my world through. What if I just took those off and put them down and picked up another pair that was more empowering to me and maybe a little prettier and had me
Swarovski crystal on the ad. No big deal.
Bling. Like had me believe that I was worthy of this relationship or this income or these friends.
Can I just say something really quick? I love that because like the concepts you guys are talking about, I'm like, it's what I say all the time, but I say it in my own way and you said it in your own way and you said
right.
And like this is why it's so, again, so powerful when people come together because it's like with the way that you
I love you girls.
The way that you guys said it, I'm like, wow. And it was like, it drew, like it's like I knew that, but then you just put it even more into me in a new way.
Like the layers.
Yeah, totally. So I just want to say I really, really appreciate that. And I love hearing your guys' perspectives. It's like, it just makes it like, has you remember that it's like not always what I think it is. And a lot of times I feel like I get so in my tunnel vision. And when I hear you guys talking about it, it's like, it reminds me that there's so much more.
What Ashley just said is so crucially important because and it really boils down to why we're even doing this, you guys. Yeah. Like we created this episode for you because we want to see more women empowering each other. We want to see more women getting around and supporting each other because you know what? The world is hard enough. We have so many battles. We have men that we have to, like there's a glass ceiling. Like there is a level of sexism in the world that is not gone. And I'm not like going to sit here and be like, you know, but it's just, it is the truth. And so we already have battles out there. We need to stick together. We need to support each other. And it's so important. That's why we created this. And this is why. The people you surround yourself by is the person you will become. And if we were surrounding ourselves by people that reaffirmed life is hard, money is hard to make, you know, people are out to get you. What kind of things will we be telling ourselves? Instead, we are sitting here promoting positivity, promoting lifting each other up, empowering each other, and then look at what results from that. You know, we can become better versions of ourselves because we are choosing. This was a very conscious decision to all become friends. We are choosing the type of people that we want to surround ourselves by. So anyone that's listening to this, it's a very strong reminder. Be very, very cautious of the people you surround yourself by because what they say, like Ashley just said, are the thoughts that are going to be ingrained deep into every single cell in your body. Like energy is real. And so that is just so important. And I just love that you touched on that.
Can I kind of sum this up and break this down into a couple of steps?
Do it.
Yes. Okay. We love steps.
Okay. So step 1 is noticing where you're fucking uncomfortable and where your work is to do. Step number...
You can't fix something if you don't know it exists.
Yes.
Fix it.
Can we go AA here for a second? The first step is admitting it. How many people are in denial? How many people are in denial that they want a better group of friends? Let's be honest. I love step number 1. Let's get honest with ourselves and be like, I want to level up my friendship. Like this episode should... Like my hope, and I can only speak for myself, is that you reflect and be like, I really want to level up my friends. I really want to work on myself. I really want to surround myself with better people. So Kate, what are the next steps?
So step 1,
I'm going to write this shit down. I'm going to listen to this podcast again. And I'm going to go through this.
So step 1 is the awareness of where you need to do your own work so that you can be the person who will attract the people that you want in your life. The second step is to actually identify what those values are that you really want in your friends, right? Like what are your common values? What are the things that are important to you? What is your 10-year vision so that you can be aligned with these people who are with you? So clear on that. Yeah. So that's 2 steps. Did we have a third one? Have I missed something?
I would like to add something to that. And that is, I know, shocking.
Of course she does.
Well, like 3 of us like hate talking. Like I'm surprised we even have an episode here because we are mutes. What just happened? We are not editing that out. That is so going in the episode. But I love that you said that because what I was going to say is why do we write vision boards for our life? And why is it that when we're looking for a partner, everyone's like, but have you wrote the qualities that you want down in a partner? Why do people do that about friends?
It's true. It's so true. That's a really good point, actually.
I do.
See, that's why we gave you guys such good homework. That's such good homework.
What is everyone's homework, you guys? Tell us what is our homework.
Okay, so get clear on where you're triggered, and then go and do what you need to do to work on that area. That I think is number one. I think your face is just.
We have zero fun.
I don't know what step 2 was. I lost the plot.
No. Step 2 was getting really clear on what you want. So being really crystal clear on what you want, writing all that down. The more detailed you can be, the better.
And I think not like, just like when you're dating, you don't want to write down like, is smart, earn 6 figures. Like you want actual like values, like believes in being the best version of themselves, wants to have a life where travel and all the things are possible, like really is writing down the qualities.
Like for example, what would you picture yourself talking to with your girlfriends about? What kind of conversations do you want to have with them? Because that's really important. Like I remember, guys, you remember, like I know you guys have had like friendships like this where you're talking about such surface level stuff all the time. It's just surface, or usually talking about other people the whole time.
Right?
What was that one quote? It's a quote.
It's shallowness, small people. No, wait.
If you know it, leave a comment. It's small minds talk about
people. Small minds talk about people, and
big minds talk about ideas.
Yeah,
I think
totally not it, but it's close enough. It's something like that.
Anyway, if you know it, comment it. I would appreciate that, and I think we all would right now. Anyways, but then the third step was asking yourself, am I these things? Because we can't expect to have things if we aren't. We can't expect to have a friendship like that if we aren't that friend. So getting clear on, am I that? And then if you're not, it's not like about beating yourself up or anything. Don't do that. Then, okay, cool. This is an area I get to work on, because if I want to attract that, I get to be that first.
Mm-hmm. I love that.
I'd like to suggest that step 4 is doing what you did in the sandbox when you were a kid and just going up to somebody and be like, will you be my friend?
Yes.
Honestly,
I was literally going to say that. My step 4 was making an effort.
No, like literally.
God, 3 kids in a sandbox.
And I'm going to give you girls credit here. Oh my God, we need to stop with that. PG-18, guys. Don't listen to this with minors in the background.
I've done that before.
I was gonna say that I really commend you girls for doing this, because you guys actually inspired me through this as well, is to really go out there and make an effort. Because I'm not gonna lie to you guys, and I think that, I don't know if any of the listeners can relate to this, but like I get so busy that sometimes and this is why I led with this, and because I'm proud of myself that I did this, is I get so busy I don't usually schedule time for friends. And so I love that like we all made an effort to be here, and we all made this important, because you guys, when you're surrounding you guys charge thousands of dollars for programs, and just being around each other, we are getting so much. Like in our minds, we're like, oh, we don't have time. Like in my mind, I was like, oh, and I don't have tons and tons of time to like spend with like all types of doing different things. Like I need to focus on my business. But what's so important is also being like, but look at how much benefit we're getting, not only in our personal lives from our friendship, but our business as well. And my point is, take that time out to carve out time for your friends.
And I'm going to tell you right now why you weren't before. It's exactly what you said earlier. You said you must first admit that a friendship is that you want that type of friendship, that you want to create tribe. Because the reason, this is the thing, we make time for what matters.
Yes.
Period. End of story. So like you could be the freaking busiest person on this entire planet, like the busiest person. If your leg breaks in half, I know this is an aggressive example, but seriously, you would make time to go to the hospital, would you not? Yeah. All of a sudden there would be time. There would be a time slot. Exactly. The point is, it's about priorities, and where do priorities come from? Our values, what matters to us. So if you are in denial about a tribe mattering to you, of course you're not going to make time. And then once you realize that, so the question is always, if I'm not having that in my life, ask yourself what actually matters to you.
Yeah.
Like what matters?
Yeah. And what I used to do is I used to go on social media, and I used to be like, oh, those girls are having so much fun. Like those boss babe tribes, like that looks so cool. But I wasn't doing anything to create it. I wasn't reaching out to girls on Instagram, because I was like, oh, that's kind of weird. Like, why would this girl, you know what I mean? One of the things that I did, and I urge people to do this as well, is when I started my podcast, I started reaching out to the women that I wanted to be friends with, and got to spend time with them that blossomed into relationships. And so that was me taking that personal accountability to be like, hey, I want these friendships in my life. I can't just expect you girls to land on my doorstep. step, I have to go out there and consciously create these types of relationships. And I want to switch really quickly about business. Are you guys comfortable maybe sharing a little bit about your business as well?
Let's do it.
So you guys, you guys have been able to create an enormous amount of success in your businesses as coaches, as female entrepreneurs. What would you say to the listeners is like the number one thing if they were to take away and be like, I want to create those results in my life? Like, what could they do today to do that?
Yeah. So right away, this is the biggest thing I would say. And this is the biggest thing I see holding so many people back, especially women. I'm going to say that, but maybe men listening can relate to this too, is messy action. So we're afraid to take action because we're like, well, wait, I don't know 100%. And it's like the 100%. I actually just had a girl message me this today saying, I don't know 100%. I said, throw that out. You will never know. Do we all still know 100%? No.
Fucking idea.
No.
We were driving here. We're like, what are we going to talk about?
Guys, no one knows.
Idea.
No one. Can I just bust the myth that people know what they're doing? We're all walking around not knowing. And that's the beauty of life. It's unfolding and blossoming before your eyes. But the thing is,
Get goosebumps from this.
is it won't unfold for you if you're not freaking walking, taking action. And like, that's the thing. People ask me, I literally how did you get to where you are feeling so on purpose? Well, honestly, I didn't know that I didn't know what I was doing when I first started off. And I just took action. I was like, you know what? These things came to me. I went with what felt right in my gut and I moved forward and I did it. So just let go of the idea of perfection, guys. That's going to save you. And just take action and trust your gut.
I was actually going to say something really similar, which is not just taking the action, but knowing that you actually already know enough to start. You might not know everything. You might not know how to help everybody who's in your target audience, but there are always people that you will be 5 steps ahead of. And those are the people that you need to serve while you learn. So oftentimes, like your target audience, for example, in your business will change as you grow, right? Like when you're 3 years into business, maybe you're helping people who are just starting in their business. And then when you're 10 years into business, you're helping people who are 3 years in. You know, like you're going to grow with your business.
So true.
And be okay to just take that action.
I love that you just put that into context because it is so accurate. People think, I'm not good enough yet. I'm not perfect. I don't have those results yet. But you have results versus first starting out. Where you are right now in your mindset, in your business, in your life, in your relationships is at a different part than people starting out. So instead of comparing yourself to that person who has everything, compare yourself to that person that has nothing that you want to help. And this is for coaches. And I completely agree with you. It's the biggest thing that I get is that I help people break through to get them to that next level of their absolute greatest potential. And the biggest thing that I see that holds them back is excuses, insecurities, fear, analysis paralysis, and the last one, which could be the most important, is a need for perfection. So, and I urge people listening to this is stop aiming for A+. You don't need it. Start aiming for that B-, because that B- over a long period of time is going to get you that degree versus A+ in one area of your life. And I completely agree with you. I talk about this and I'm so passionate about it, is you have to give yourself space to be imperfect. Like I was literally on the phone with my client today and I'm like, get excited to fuck up. Like get excited to really piss people off, to get rejected, to fail, to look retarded.
Failure is a great thing.
Yes.
And the one thing if you're afraid to fail, right now I'm going to tell you something. Write down what you make failure mean. It's not failure you're scared of. Write down what you're making. It's what you're making failure mean about yourself that you're scared of. So write that down and now rewrite the story. Because I'll tell you right now, what I make failure mean is failure is a great thing. It shows me that I'm a mover. I'm a shaker. I'm bold. I'm bold enough to take action even when I don't know. Mm-hmm. So that's what it's telling me. It's telling me that I am bold enough to take action. I'm a mover. So if you're not failing, you're not moving. That's how I relate to it. So just something to knock you guys quit fearing failure. That right there will set you so free.
Well, and I think it's like when people think of failure as the opposite of success. Failure is not the opposite of success.
Failure means you're winning.
It's a step.
Because you're at least trying.
Yeah, and you learn what doesn't work. And you learn, I think the biggest theme that kind of ties all these things in that we've been talking about is the fact that people are waiting to feel a certain way before they take action. They're waiting to feel good enough. They're waiting to have the results. But the fact of the matter is that evidence and confidence are created by taking imperfect action and not only realizing that you can do more than you think, but realizing that you can handle it when you don't. Like when you fail and you fuck up, like you're fine. You're still fine. You're still alive. Everything's still fine, right? Like we're good.
I love how Kait, like, do you notice this pattern? You listeners, I know you hear it. And she always draws it in. She's like, can we just go over the 3 steps? And you know what? I've noticed a common theme, and I'm going to state it here. I love you. It's so good.
She's a master at communication.
It's the journalist in me. What can I say?
You both are so articulate at your message. Have you guys done this before?
Every day, honey.
I love it.
So I'm gonna cut us off. Okay, I have to. I know you guys can be mad at me. You can take it out on me because I have a plane to catch. So we're gonna start wrapping this up. How about this?
Wait, I have a question. If we prolong this, can we help you miss your flight? Kait, ask her some good questions. We're trying to straight up kidnap her.
Your sex life, honey.
Well, where should I start? I don't know.
This is a PG-18 episode, ladies.
PG-18. Okay. So let's do
PG-14.
Why don't we start? We'll start down here and go down. Biggest thing that you want the listeners to take away from this entire amazing conversation.
Love yourself. Love yourself. That is where confidence is rooted in, is being kind and gentle to yourself. If you want confidence to attract amazing friends in life, if you want confidence to go out there and build a big, bold, beautiful, successful life, it starts with loving yourself. It starts with deep rooting yourself in the belief system that you're worthy and you deserve it. Because the most successful people in the world have one common trait: confidence. Because if they didn't believe that they could go out there and achieve massive results, nobody else was going to do it for them. And so just be kind to yourself. Nobody else can shape your thoughts about who you are. You are in complete control of that. And just be kind to other people. I think the other thing that we all have in common is, and I really wanted to touch on this, is I really make it my goal to allow you girls to just be so free in who you are and feel so accepted and unconditionally loved. And I don't want to like ever like correct you guys or like put you down. Like I want to lift you guys up and empower you. And so just to really be outward focused and just give people the space to just unconditionally be themselves, like unapologetically be themselves, and most importantly, give yourself the space to be unapologetically you.
I love that.
Beautiful. I think for me, the biggest thing I'd like you to take away is that everybody, no matter who they are, is just a person.
Yeah.
Honestly, every single person on the planet, somebody that you want as your client, somebody you want to work with, that person that's, you know, the mentor of your dreams that you live up to. Your only job is to go out and take action to connect and relate to that person, to bring value and to ask for what you want. You know, there are so many people, every single person, all of us on this couch, like we want to help you. Yeah. Everybody wants to help you. And if you put that pair of glasses on, the goggles is like the helper goggles that everybody, like the world is here for you and everybody wants to help you. And you go and ask for that thing that you need, you will be amazed at how people will bend over backwards to support you when they see that you're honest, that you have integrity, that you are open, that you're committed to making a difference. And, you know, like whether that's you choosing your next girl tribe and the people you want to be surrounded with, or whether it is you getting a new mentor, or it is you stepping your business up to the next level. Everybody's everybody's an imperfect person.
And no one has it all figured out.
Yeah.
No one.
I love that.
I love both of those. It's so funny. I was literally going to say love yourself. So I love that you said that first, but I'm going to build on to that actually. And this is something we talked about.
It's so important.
We talked about this earlier, is being grounded in who you are, and not just being grounded in who you are, embracing where you are right now. Mm-hmm. Because in order to get where we want to go, to be who we want to be, we must embrace who we are now and where we are now. What we resist persists, period. So if you're resisting yourself, if you're resisting where you're at and you're not willing to face it, to grow through it, then that's what's going to stick around. That's what's going to keep replaying. That's what keeps people stuck in loops. And the other part to that is it's never about your circumstances. So where you're at now, yes, there may be circumstances all around you. You are not your circumstances. Always make decisions from possibility, not from circumstance. So in other words, what is possible for you, which is where you want to go, who you want to be, make a decision from that person. So when you talk about 10-year vision, the person that I want to be 10 years from now, what would they choose in this moment? Yeah. Not what does my circumstances allow me to choose, because that is completely giving your power away to external things, to external circumstances. And that's not empowering you at all to be the leader that you want to be. So just knowing that you have that power, never let your circumstances define or dictate your actions and decisions, because that will keep you stuck in a loop. So be grounded in who you are, embrace who you are and where you are, and stay focused on making decisions from where you want to be.
I love that so much. And if I can just say a couple of things, just thank you, girls, for being unapologetically you, because I talked about this with both of you guys, that I've always wanted like a solid group of girls, and it really boiled down to me about making that effort and becoming the type of person that I wanted to attract. And so to actually be able to be like sitting on this couch, and I'm so grateful for this interview. It's definitely been one of my favorites. Don't tell anyone else. By the way, check out my podcast as well, Vitamin B Show, and check out yours and yours too. So tell us your names.
Easy, Ashley Hann Show. Because by the way, this is going on all three of our podcasts. Just for context. Ashley
So
Hann
listen
Show.
to it 3 times.
The Rich Life Podcast.
And mine is the Vitamin B Show, found on all platforms. And guys, please rate and review this podcast. Again, we did this for you guys because we genuinely, the reason why we're all coaches is because we genuinely want to see you guys succeed. We genuinely want to help you reach that next level of your life. So please go and rate, review, and subscribe to all 3 of our podcasts. And thank you, girls.
Join our tribe.
Join our tribe. Yeah. And we're going to do an in-person retreat, you guys. So make sure you guys send us a message, because we are planning something so special for you guys, so you guys can actually come bask in this energy. It's so different. Listening to it is powerful, but just being in this space is so incredible. Like this week end/half end of the week has been so like beautiful for me, because I'm such a workaholic. And so just to be like belly laughing with you girls and having an absolute riot was just such an amazing treat for me. So thank you. And thank you, girls, for being you. Like Kait, just watching you grow and seeing you blossom into this like beautiful powerhouse, and just continuing to move forward. Like I said, there's so many different challenges in life, and just to watch you keep showing up powerfully and choosing into your business and choosing into yourself has been such a beautiful, beautiful journey. And thank you, Ashley, for just being absolutely hilarious. Like, you are so much fun, and just you're so inspiring, because you've really mastered what I feel are some of the most important pillars in your life. And I love, even this weekend, you mentioned all these coaches you had, and I was like, wow, like she has a coach in this and a coach in this. I was like, interesting. Okay. And what that really told me is that you value yourself so much that you're willing to invest in yourself. And so you're always working on your mind, your body, your soul, your relationships, and your business.
Thank you so much for saying that. I love you. I love both of you so much.
I love you. Goodbye. We wish you guys were here with us, which you guys will be when we plan our in-person retreat.
You're coming.
Y'all are coming.
Okay, love you. I gotta catch my plane now.
And she's not going to
Gotta
Bali,
go.
but you are soon at our retreat.
Love it. So thanks so much, guys. Add us on Instagram. Again, Brittany Michalchuk, The Rich Coach, and Ashley Hann.
Ashley.Hann.
Ashley.Hann with 2 N's.
Okay, bye. Love you.
Okay, bye.